When the world tilts on its axis, whether it's a natural disaster, civil unrest, or a long-term grid-down scenario, your pantry becomes your lifeline. And in that moment, the humble can on your shelf might be the difference between comfort and desperation. You see, canned food isn't just a relic of your grandma's storm cellar. It's one of the most reliable, shelf-stable ways to keep your family fed, your energy up, and your morale intact when the going gets tough. But here's the catch. Not all canned foods are created equal. Stocking the wrong ones, or worse, ignoring the right ones, could leave you with empty calories or even spoiled food at the worst possible time. In this video, we're diving deep into 6 essential canned foods you'll regret not having when SHTF. These aren't just about calories, they're about nutrition, versatility, and survival in a world where the rules of the game have changed overnight. We'll show you which cans to grab, how to use them, and why they're non-negotiable for your prepper pantry. So grab a notepad, maybe even a can opener, because we're about to take you on a journey through the must-haves that could keep you alive and even a little comfortable when everything else falls apart. Let's crack the first can, shall we? Number 1, canned veggies. Canned vegetables are your survival pantry's unsung heroes, adding not just nutrition, but also a splash of color and a sense of normalcy when the world feels anything but normal. Let's talk about what should make the cut. Mixed vegetables, think carrots, peas, corn, and beans, are absolute staples. They're versatile, easy to blend into stews, soups, and rice dishes, and they pack a nutritional punch with vitamins A, C, and K, plus potassium and fiber. In a crisis where fresh produce is impossible to get, these vitamins help your immune system stay strong, support healthy vision, and keep your digestion in check. Now, let's not forget the heavy lifter in the canned vegetable category, tomatoes. Technically a fruit, but functionally a veggie, canned tomatoes are a survivalist's best friend. Whole peeled, diced, crushed, or even as paste, each form brings its own advantages. Crushed tomatoes can instantly transform a bland rice dish into a savory meal, while tomato paste can add depth and richness to stews and beans, enhancing flavor and giving meals that home-cooked comfort we all crave when times get tough. Beyond flavor, tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that fights inflammation and supports heart health. In a scenario where stress and poor diet are working overtime to wear you down, that's no small bonus. Plus, tomatoes offer vitamin C, which not only boosts your immune system, but also aids in the absorption of iron from plant-based foods, an important consideration when meat might be in short supply. Storage-wise, canned vegetables and tomatoes are a prepper's dream. They typically have a shelf life of 2-5 years, sometimes even longer if stored properly in a cool, dark place. And because they're pre-cooked, you can eat them straight from the can if you have to. No stove, no fuss. Another hidden gem, their versatility. Add them to pasta, stews, soups, or even toss them with beans and salmon for a quick, balanced meal. They stretch your protein sources further, letting you create more meals with fewer resources, which is a crucial strategy when you're trying to make your supplies last. Don't underestimate the psychological value of variety either. During extended crises, the daily grind can wear down even the toughest survivor. A little color on your plate, a different texture, or a hint of sweetness from corn or carrots can lift your mood and remind you that life still has some normalcy. It's those little comforts that keep the mind strong and focused, which is just as important as keeping the body fed. And let's not forget about dietary fiber. In high-stress situations, digestive issues are common, especially if you're eating a lot of canned and dehydrated foods. Canned veggies provide much-needed fiber that helps keep your digestive system running smoothly. Trust me, you'll be grateful for that when resources are scarce and comfort is hard to come by. If you think we're done talking about veggies, we'll think again. But worry not. These ones are a complete powerhouse on their own. Yes, we are talking about beans. From black beans to kidney beans, pinto beans to chickpeas, these humble legumes are a nutritional powerhouse you'll regret not having when SHTF. First off, beans are a protein dynamo. When the power grid collapses and the supermarket shelves are bare, protein is no longer a luxury. It's an absolute necessity. Beans deliver that protein punch in a form that's shelf-stable, affordable, and versatile. Just 1 cup of cooked black beans offers around 15 grams of protein, enough to fuel your body and keep your mind sharp. But it's not just about protein. Beans also bring complex carbohydrates to the table, essential for sustaining energy during stressful times. Unlike sugary snacks that spike your blood sugar only to leave you crashing later, Beans provide slow-burning fuel that keeps your stamina up. When you're rationing supplies, every calorie counts, and beans give you a lot of bang for your buck. Let's talk about fiber, a nutrient most people overlook in a crisis. Stress, dehydration, and limited access to fresh foods can wreak havoc on your digestive system. Enter beans, fiber-rich heroes that keep your gut happy and regular even when everything else is falling apart. Trust me, a calm stomach in chaos is worth its weight in gold. Now let's get into the real prepper perks. Beans are ridiculously versatile. Toss them into soups, stews, or salads, mash them into spreads or dips, or eat them straight from the can if you have to. Chickpeas can transform into hummus, black beans into a taco filling, and kidney beans into a protein boost for your rice dishes. They can stand alone or bulk up whatever else you've managed to scavenge. Storage-wise, beans are a prepper's dream. Canned beans can last 3 to 5 years on the shelf, sometimes longer if stored properly in a cool, dry place. And because they're pre-cooked, they don't need hours of boiling. Just heat them up, and they're ready. Even if you're short on fuel, you can eat them cold straight from the can. Sure, it's not gourmet, but when the power's out, practicality beats fancy every time. Here's another trick. Don't overlook the liquid in canned beans. That thick brine called aquafaba can be used as a substitute for eggs in baking or to add creaminess to soups. In a grid-down scenario, every bit counts, and wasting nothing becomes an art form. Beans are also budget-friendly. Even if you're prepping on a shoestring budget, you can easily build a robust stash without breaking the bank. That means more resources to allocate to other crucial preps like water, first aid, or backup power. But here's where it gets even better. Beans are the perfect lead-in to the next essential canned food on our list: canned meat. Number 2, canned meat. After stocking up on essential proteins like beans and adding a vibrant palette of veggies to your crisis pantry, you're on your way to building a solid survival diet. But let's be real. Sometimes you need a meal that hits harder, packs more protein per bite, and feels like a real main course instead of just a side dish. That's where canned meat steps into the spotlight. A true champion in the world of crisis-ready foods. Let's talk about why canned meat deserves a front row seat in your emergency pantry. First off, it's incredibly shelf-stable, often boasting a shelf life of 3 to 5 years or longer if stored correctly. That means you can buy it now and know it'll be there when the going gets tough. And because it's fully cooked and ready to eat, canned meat doesn't need a stove, though warming it up can make it even more comforting. Chicken is the MVP of canned meats, and it's easy to see why. It's mild, versatile, and high in lean protein, making it a perfect base for stews, soups, or even sandwiches if you have bread on hand. Its neutral flavor profile means it pairs well with those beans and veggies you've stocked, allowing you to create a well-rounded meal that doesn't scream emergency rations. But don't stop at chicken. Depending on what's available and your dietary preferences, canned beef, turkey, or even pork can add variety and keep mealtime interesting. Canned beef, for example, can turn a simple pasta or rice dish into a filling, hearty dinner that feels like a real treat during hard times. Even a can of pulled pork can be a morale booster, giving you a taste of comfort food when it matters most. Beyond taste and texture, canned meat is a nutrition powerhouse. It's packed with complete proteins that provide all the essential amino acids your body needs to repair tissues, maintain muscle mass, and support your immune system, which is essential when stress, fatigue, and potential injuries are part of your daily reality. Plus, many canned meats are rich in iron, zinc, and B vitamins, which help keep your energy levels up and your mind sharp. Another key benefit: canned meat is incredibly versatile. Think beyond just heating it up and eating it straight from the can. Mix it with rice, beans, and canned vegetables for a one-pot meal that's filling, nutritious, and delicious. Or shred it and add it to a soup or stew to stretch your protein supply and keep everyone's stomachs full and satisfied. Don't think we're done with proteins yet, because while beans and meat bring the protein and the fiber, they don't always offer all the amino acids your body needs for long-term survival. That's where fish swoops in with its omega-3 fatty acids, essential fats, and complete protein profile, filling the nutritional gaps that beans alone can't. Number 3, canned fish. Let's face it, when the lights go out and chaos sets in, your body is under intense stress. Stress depletes your stores of vital nutrients faster than you'd think. That's why having canned fish, especially salmon, can be a game changer. It's loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are crucial for keeping inflammation at bay, boosting brain function, and even helping to stabilize your mood. When the world is falling apart, You'll want every mental edge you can get, and omega-3s are like a survival cheat code for your mind. Protein-wise, salmon delivers around 20 grams per 3-ounce serving. That's a hefty dose of muscle-repairing, energy-boosting goodness in every bite. Pair that with the fiber and complex carbs from beans, and you've got a meal that's as balanced as it is satisfying. It's not just about calories, it's about giving your body the fuel it needs to stay alert, strong, and ready to handle whatever challenges come your way. And let's not forget about vitamin D, which is a nutrient many people are already low on, especially if the crisis hits during winter when sunlight is scarce. Salmon is a fantastic natural source of vitamin D, which is critical for immune function and bone health. In a grid-down scenario where fresh produce and dairy might be hard to come by, that can of salmon could literally be the difference between staying healthy or falling prey to disease. Now you might be thinking, but won't canned fish taste, well, fishy? Sure, it's not a 5-star dinner party meal, but remember, survival is about practicality, not perfection. And here's the good news. Canned salmon is surprisingly versatile. You can flake it into a salad, mix it with beans and rice for a protein-packed stew, or even eat it straight from the can with a squeeze of lemon if you're low on supplies. Storage-wise, canned fish is a prepper's dream. It can last 3 to 5 years in a cool, dark place, and sometimes even longer if you keep it properly rotated. Look for cans with pop tops for easy access. You never know when you might be without a can opener, and because it's already cooked and packed in oil or water, you can eat it cold straight from the can in a pinch. No stove required. It's also important to note that some canned fish come with bones included. Don't be too quick to discard them. Those soft, edible bones are loaded with calcium, which is another critical nutrient you might otherwise lack if dairy is scarce. When every resource matters, every bite counts. With your pantry now stocked with the protein-packed powerhouse of canned meat, fish, and legumes, your survival menu just went from basic to satisfying. But while protein is essential, your meals need more than just muscle-building blocks. They need flavor, comfort, and a way to bring everything together into hearty, morale-boosting meals. That's why next we'll dive into a food that's as versatile as it is essential, one that can elevate any dish with its creamy texture and comforting presence. Number 4, canned dairy. So you've stocked your shelves with robust proteins like canned beans, salmon, and meat. Your pantry now holds the building blocks of a nutritious and satisfying survival diet. But something's missing, a creamy, comforting element that elevates those meals from merely functional to downright satisfying. Enter canned dairy, the unsung hero of the survival pantry. Canned dairy products like evaporated milk, sweetened condensed milk, and even shelf-stable cheeses bring an undeniable richness to your meals. They add a dose of creamy comfort that can soothe the soul as much as the body. When the world outside feels uncertain and chaotic, the familiar, comforting flavor of dairy can remind you of better days and simpler times. Let's start with evaporated milk, a versatile staple that deserves a place in every prepper's stash. Unlike regular milk, evaporated milk has about 60% of its water content removed, making it thicker, creamier, and much more stable on the shelf. It's a powerhouse for adding creaminess to soups, stews, and casseroles, essential in making those canned meats and veggies into a meal that tastes like home. Stir it into your coffee, use it to create rich sauces, or even whip up a quick rice pudding with canned fruit and a sprinkle of sugar. It's the ultimate culinary chameleon. Sweetened condensed milk deserves a special mention too. While it might seem more like a dessert ingredient, it can be a powerful morale booster. Imagine being able to whip up a quick treat like fudge, no-bake cookies, or even a sweetened coffee during tough times. That touch of sweetness can lift spirits, especially for kids who might be struggling to adjust to an unfamiliar, stressful environment. And let's face it, sometimes you need that pick-me-up to keep everyone's morale high. Canned or jarred cheese spreads and processed cheeses are another game changer. They might not be fancy, but they deliver a cheesy flavor that can transform the blandest rice or pasta dish into a creamy, comforting meal. Whether it's a can of nacho cheese, a spreadable cheddar, or even a processed cheese sauce, it's all about boosting flavor and calories. Two critical factors in any survival scenario. What makes canned dairy truly invaluable is its calorie density and nutritional punch. Evaporated milk, for example, is a good source of calcium, vitamin D, and protein, all of which are vital for maintaining strong bones, teeth, and muscles. During extended crises, when stress, fatigue, and physical labor take a toll, these nutrients become even more essential. Calcium keeps your bones strong and your heart and nerves functioning properly, while vitamin D supports your immune system. And let's not forget the psychological power of dairy. When times get tough, comfort foods can be more than just calories. They're a lifeline to a sense of normalcy. A cup of hot cocoa made with evaporated milk, a creamy pasta sauce, or even a sweetened treat from condensed milk can bring back memories of holidays, family meals, and cozy nights at home. That mental lift is priceless during a crisis. But now that your pantry is brimming with the essential carbs, proteins, and comforting fats from dairy, it's time to focus on the next critical aspect of survival, and in my opinion, the most important: sweets. Number feed canned fruit. After the hearty sustenance of canned vegetables, there's one thing your taste buds and your morale are going to crave during a crisis: a bit of sweetness. Enter canned fruit, the unsung hero of any well-stocked survival pantry. Think about it. In the middle of a prolonged power outage or when supply chains grind to a halt, that can of peaches or pineapple becomes more than just a snack. It's a reminder of normalcy, a morale-boosting treat that can lift spirits when the days get long and grim. Canned fruit isn't just about flavor, though. It's also packed with hydration and essential nutrients. Fruits like peaches, pears, pineapple, and mixed fruit salads are loaded with vitamin C, a key nutrient to keep your immune system strong when stress and fatigue threaten to wear you down. They also provide natural sugars that give your body a quick energy boost, especially valuable when fresh produce is nowhere in sight. Even without refrigeration, canned fruit holds up remarkably well, and its syrup or juice can double as a small hydration boost in a pinch. If you can get the fruit packed in its own juice or in light syrup, you'll stretch its utility even further, using the liquid to flavor water or drizzle over dry cereals or oatmeal. Let's not forget that canned fruit can even work in recipes when other ingredients are scarce. Mix it into oatmeal for a quick breakfast or stir it into rice pudding for an improvised dessert. The syrup or juice can even sweeten sauces or be mixed into water for a makeshift sports drink, perfect when you're rationing every drop of water and need some flavor variety. So while canned fruit might not seem like a survival essential at first glance, it's exactly the kind of morale-boosting, nutritious food that can keep spirits high and energy levels steady when SHTF. And speaking of keeping spirits steady, that's where our next must-have comes into play. The often overlooked hero of survival cuisine: canned broth or stock. Number 6, canned broth or stock. When you're living off shelf-stable foods, adding flavor and hydration to your meals is a game changer, and that's where canned broth or stock truly shines. Think of it as liquid gold for your survival pantry. Whether it's chicken, beef, or vegetable broth, this staple is a culinary Swiss Army knife, ready to transform even the most basic meal into something comforting and satisfying. After days of canned beans and rice, your taste buds will thank you for the rich, savory depth that broth brings to the table. It can stretch small portions of meat or veggies into hearty soups, stews, or even risotto-style dishes. You can rehydrate dried foods like instant rice or noodles, adding not just water, but a burst of umami that makes every bite more enjoyable. That psychological boost is crucial in a crisis when morale can sink faster than your energy levels. Broth also plays a key role in hydration. When you're rationing water or feeling under the weather, a warm cup of broth can replenish electrolytes, keep your body temperature steady, and soothe a tired spirit. It's also easier on the stomach than some heavier meals, making it a go-to option if you or a family member is feeling unwell. Another major advantage: canned broth is incredibly versatile. It's not just for soups, it's a base for gravies, a braising liquid for tougher cuts of meat, and an ingredient that can add depth to even simple dishes like canned vegetables or instant mashed potatoes. Have a can of chicken broth, add some instant rice, dried herbs, and leftover canned veggies, and you've got yourself a comforting one-pot meal that feels far from survival rations. When selecting canned broth, opt for low-sodium or no-salt-added versions if possible. This gives you more control over seasoning, especially if you're stretching limited supplies of salt or other spices. Remember that broth cans should be checked for dents, leaks, or rust regularly, as damage can lead to bacterial contamination. Don't forget to stock enough broth to last beyond just a few meals. A small stash can disappear quickly when you're relying on it for hydration and meal stretching. Plan for at least 1 can per person per day if you're using it as a staple for rehydrating foods and cooking meals. There you have it, your ultimate SHTF pantry lineup, ready to keep you fed, fueled, and fortified no matter what chaos the world throws your way. So get to it. Rotate your stock, check your expiration dates, and make sure your shelves are lined with these essential canned goods. Because when SHTF, you'll want to be the one with a full pantry and a clear head, ready to face the chaos with confidence and a spoonful of peach syrup in hand.